Hi, it's Coach Joe Lukacs, and welcome to the Magellan Network Show. My goal inside of this communication, this show, is to share with you my nearly 30 years of coaching some of the most successful financial advisors in North America. We're going to be talking about strategies, syntaxes. We're going to be bringing guests on from time to time, and I'm going to share with you what's working now. So think of this show as sort of like a little one-on-one kind of mini coaching cast, if you like, where we're going to be going in depth from time to time on strategies to help you grow your business, get more effective, become more efficient, find balance in your time management, grow your business, and quite frankly, whatever else is going on in the world today. So before we get to today's episode, I'd love for you to do a couple things for me. Number one, make sure that if you're watching this on YouTube, that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're doing the audio, make sure that you give us a review on whether Spotify or Apple. We'd really appreciate that. And quite frankly, that does help. It does matter when you rate things and like things and subscribe to things. It helps us get the word out to more of the industry. And lastly, I have a very special gift for you. Go to MagellanNetwork.net, so one word, MagellanNetwork.net, and I have for you a complimentary membership, 100% gratis, where you can tap into about between 50 and 75 hours of masterclasses, forms, tools, templates, and strategies. So please go ahead and make sure you go get that claimed, smash the like button and subscribe. And please go ahead and leave us a review on whatever podcasting platform you're on. And now, let's get to this week's episode. Welcome to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. And what we're going to do this week is continue our little mini masterclass series here on optimization. And just for a quick recap, and you can definitely find these episodes, either on YouTube or if you're watching or listening to one of our podcast feeds. First off, first episode, we talked about the principles, right? There's always a way to drive more revenue, more profits from your business, whether you're a solopreneur or you have a $10 million enterprise level financial advisory firm. There's always ways to increase profits. Inside of that conversation, there are 4 domains, right? There's how to optimize yourself, how to optimize teams, or your people. Today, we're going to talk about how to optimize clients, which is very exciting. And then next week, we'll talk about how to optimize your branding, marketing, and biz dev. So today, clients. Now, a little sidebar. When we talk about optimizing yourself, that is always going to pay short and long-term benefits. When we talk about optimizing your team, you're going to get higher levels of productivity, and over time, you'll get higher levels of profits. However, when you look to optimize your client base, this will yield you immediate results, immediate new revenue, immediate more assets, immediate, right? So this one you want to pay attention to. And my goal in this episode is to give you tangible, practical strategies that you can literally deploy today inside your practice, okay? So when I teach optimization to my clients, and I say, look, here's kind of the framework that we're going to work under. I want you to take a client, husband, it doesn't matter, client unit, family, husband, wife, single, it doesn't matter, right? So Tom and Mary, we'll just use that for illustrative. So let's say we have Tom and Mary, they've been a client for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, it's irrelevant, right? Here's why it's irrelevant. Most advisors do 2 things, and they're very expensive. Number one, they have a bias towards their clients in terms of that they think they know everything about their clients. Number 2, which then leads to the terrible word of being assumptive. Remember this, being assumptive or assuming things will cost you millions of dollars in your career in profits, okay? So being assumptive is very expensive. So here's what we're going to do with Tom and Mary. And I'm going to walk you through what I like to call a strategy list, okay? Now, this is exactly what I teach my clients. This works. You will raise, and I don't know your business, of course, but I mean, it would not be crazy to raise an extra $5 to $12 million a year from our client base doing these strategies. So first off, do we have a balance sheet and or financial plan from Tom and Mary that has been updated in the last 12 months. This is critical. Now, some of your clients, again, depending on the kind of business model you have, you may not be a financial planner. You may not be into financial plans. You may not believe in that. We're not going to have that conversation today. It is what it is. But minimum requirement, minimum standard of care is we have an updated balance sheet, which is the same thing as a net worth statement from all of our clients. Okay? That's number one. Number two, so when you do that balance sheet, right, you're going to take inventory of all their assets, right, probably the liabilities. That's fine. Now, a lot of my clients use a tool like Asset Map, which is wonderful. You can use that, and you can go Google that, and it's one of the platforms that I recommend to go take a look at. And that works really well. So you want to have inventory, right? Because here's the bias that we have. Advisors truly believe that if a client has a liquidity event or a change in their financial status, that the first thing they're going to do is reach out to their financial advisor and tell them that. And that, in my experiences, is the furthest thing from the truth. In some cases, the advisor is the last one to find out, right? So we want to make sure, in essence, that we either have all their money or we know where their investable assets are, okay? Period. Now, again, if you share custody with a competitor, that's a different conversation. That's not in the preview of this episode today. But you just want to know where the money is. You want to know what economic bodies are buried, right? So a balance sheet is a great tool, or asset map or something like that is a great tool to just take inventory, and that needs to be updated every time you do a review. Again, no assumptions. While I'm on that, I'm going to give you, here's bonus material. I'm going to give you one question that's worth millions of dollars a year in new money to you. Here's the question. Anytime you are talking to a client or in a review, simple question. Hey, I'm curious. Has there been any change in your financial status since we last met? Simple question, right? Hey, I'm curious. Has there been a change in your financial status since we last met? That is worth millions. That question right there, just utter it. Do not assume anything. Do not understand that you know the client well. 20-year client, 5-year client, 2-week client, doesn't matter. Has there been a change? If you and your team get habitually used to ask that question, you will raise millions of additional dollars every quarter. Okay? Next, either you are going to do or you're going to quarterback your client's insurance needs. So again, a lot of advice like, I don't like insurance. I don't know. I don't need you to be an expert. Partner with somebody. Here's the deal. Your clients will buy insurance. They're going to buy long-term care, they'll buy life insurance, whatever else, and they're either going to buy it from you or they're going to buy it from a competitor. And now you have joint custody, which I do not think you want. I highly recommend to all my clients that we need to be the quarterback. And I hear it all the time, Joe, I don't know much about long-term care. I said, I don't need you to learn. Find somebody that knows it, that you trust, and partner with them. Right? Get over I got to be the expert in everything. So many of you, because you're so insecure in your client relationships, you're like, I got to know everything. And then you get nothing done. Okay? So either understand it or partner with somebody, but insurances matter. Next. Hi, Coach Joe Lukacs here, and I'm just breaking here for a moment just to do a couple quick reminders. Number one, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel or our podcast. In addition, please leave a comment or a review. Those things really, really matter. And share this episode with 3 of your colleagues inside the financial services space. And lastly, make sure that you go ahead and claim your free membership inside of Magellan Network. Now back to this week's episode. Like I said, we want to be the quarterback for everything. So what's everything? Literally everything. So, insurances, wealth management, lending, whatever else you want to put under your umbrella, the more valuable you can make yourself to a client. And again, the math has to work. So in other words, we cannot overserve and get under-profited, right? The math has to work. But the more and look, large firms do that. I'm not going to get into names, but every major firm out there, their goal is to get as many products and services, their tentacles, if you will, latched into a household. Why? Because they know their studies, they've done the research. They know that the more business somebody does with us, the less likely they are to leave, the more value we can create for them. Next, you have to know who all of your clients' beneficiaries are and next gen. I've got a client, I'm not going to get to his name, he's a brilliant man who does this. He's down 3 generations. The client, the adult children, and the grandkids, right? 2 things for you. And by the way, I'm not going to get, again, different episode. if you can ever create a situation where you have a multi-generational practice, whether it's by birth or DNA, or you hire it in, a multi-generational practice serving multi-generational families, I'm telling you right now, you're building a 200 or at least 100-year business. So you want to make sure that you understand, again, no assumptions. Always do a beneficiary review inside of your client review, whether it's annual, biannual, whatever you're doing. Okay? We understand next gens. Next, you want to know your client, what they do in terms of interest and organizations. Why? Why do I care if my clients are Rotarian or they're part of a book club or they're part of whatever? Why do you want to know that? Because that group may be looking for speakers. They may be looking for sponsors. There might be opportunities to leverage, right? And I've got that happening with my client base. It's not uncommon for, many of my clients on a regular basis to get asked to speak in front of a garden club, a book club, Rotary, Kiwanis, whatever's out there, right? It doesn't matter. And what's good about that is when you're operating through a client. So again, optimization is what? Optimization and leverage, right? Where's the leverage here? Well, the leverage is working through your clients. Working through your clients. I'm going to share with you a strategy that I share with my clients. And in fact, I did it the other day, and it's something that really, really works. So let's just say you operate with executives. It could be, and also it could be professionals. It doesn't really matter. One of the great strategies I love putting together very small / informal meet and greets. Now, what's a meet and greet? A meet and greet, let's say you have two or three clients at XYZ company. You reach out to the 2 or 3 clients at XYZ, say, hey, why don't we get together? I'll do a little happy hour thing, right? You invite all 3 clients. Hey, why don't you bring a coworker? Right, we'll do it right after office. You find a place right by their campus or right by the office building. They literally have to drive by. Hey, stop! I'll buy you some appetizers, a drink, whatever you want. And we'll just do it. There's no deck, nothing formal. We'll get a little section of the bar, restaurant, whatever, and we'll do that. I've had clients do that and have gone from 2 clients in an organization to over 100. Again, that's not in a year. That's in a period of many years. But it's one of the best things to do. Okay? So that's why you want to understand interest in organizations. Okay? There may be speaking opportunities there. There may be content opportunities there. So you always want to be asking your client, what else are they doing? Right? You never know. Next. It's very simple to talk about COIs in a very binary sense, right? CPAs and attorneys. And while that's okay, there are a lot of other situations. But at minimum, you want to know who does your client's taxes and do they consider their family attorney to be. Why? It's a numbers game. And I've seen this, and this will be a whole, here we go. We're going down rabbit holes here. Most advisors, when they think about COIs, here's what I hear. Oh yeah, Joe, I tried COIs, it didn't work. Well, what'd you do? Well, I met with 3 or 4 CPAs and nothing ever happened. I said, how many clients do you have? 250. How many CPAs or EAs do you think you have? Well, probably about 100, 150. So let me get this right. You met with 2% of your marketplace, and you declared that marketplace dead. What business does that? Nobody, right? So until you can tell me you've met with all 150, it's still viable. Because the reality is, how many do you really need, right? But here's the problem. Most advisors will dabble, have short-term thinking, not see an immediate result, and abandon. And I'm telling you right now, CPAs and attorneys / COIs or long-term plays. You have to measure results in quarters, if not years. Most of the time, we don't have that strategic thinking. That's why people abandon it. And my clients who rock star the COI game, and I've got clients who actually rock star it, they're all strategic thinkers and long-term players. Okay? Now, while we're talking about that, how else do we optimize, leverage our COI game? Let's get outside the box, people. Now, what do I mean by that? Stop thinking about just CPAs and attorneys. Look at your market. So let's say you deal with executives, right? Well, what else can be recruiters, executive coach? I mean, I'll tell you 2 rock star situations right now. If you deal with executives, recruiters and executive coaches, period, they can be worth actually 10 times more than a CPA. You get the right one. If you deal with business owners, management consultants, business coaches, HR consultants, marketing and advertising consultants, whoever does business with your marketplace is a potential joint venture partner, collaborator / strategic alliance partner, COI. Get outside the box. You deal with retirees. Well, who else serves retirees? There are plenty of opportunities there. Just think, the problem is in this industry, and I'm a little fired up today, as you can tell, is we're so busy trying to be busy, we don't stop to think. One of the great challenges that most advisors have is they don't understand strategic thinking because they're trying to get through their to-do list and they don't see the opportunities right under their nose. So this episode hopefully is going to give you some of that. Last thing I want to talk about is, okay, how can we leverage and optimize our clients? Through their social media contacts. One of the things you want to do, especially if you deal with the corporate market executives, you should know your LinkedIn game. You should know all your clients. And if they're on LinkedIn, you should, before they come in for a review, you should spend 5 minutes going over their profile and see who they're connected with and see who they're connected with at the company they work with, right? I mean, it's a beautiful way to kind of prompt some referral conversations. Like, hey, I'm curious. I was on your LinkedIn profile. Hey, how well do you know this person? How well do you know this person? How well do you know? Just curiosities, right? If you don't ask, you don't get. And please don't message me, oh, Joe, that sounds salesy. Hey, guess what? The difference between an advisor who struggles and an advisor who thrives is business development. It's not luck. It's business development. It's marketing. It's influence. It's all the things we talk about, right? I want to wrap this up because I don't want to tangent this whole thing. This fires me up. If you just follow the strategies of a balance sheet, hey, I'm curious, has there been any changes to your financial situation or status since the last time we met? If you were to master just those, forget everything else I just talked about. 2 things, balance sheets, asset map, whatever, and the question, 2 things. It will have a profound and immediate impact on the profitability of your clients, which means the profitability of your business. Okay? That's what I have, you guys, for today. Next episode, we're going to talk about branding, marketing, biz dev. I don't know if it'll be one episode. We may break it up a little bit. We'll see once I kind of flush it through. If you have any questions, and remember my offer, MagellanNetwork.net. If you want the forms, tools, templates, everything we just talked about today, they're yours. Just go take a look, okay? Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. It's my privilege, my pleasure, and I'll see you all on our next episode. Thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. Hey, if any of this resonated with you, I invite you to come to MagellanNetwork.net, and we have a powerful group coaching community of like-minded advisors. Come in for a trial. You and I will have a one-on-one conversation. Let's see if I can help elevate your game both personally and professionally.